Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Shri Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha. Sarva Maharshibhyo Namaha. The reward of Atmanishtatah is declared. 27th Shloka. Prashanta Manasam Henam Yoginam Sukhamuttamam Upaiti Shanta Rajasam Brahma Bhutamakalmasham. Substance. To this yogi of tranquil mind, of subdued rajas, who has become Brahman, free from evil, comes supreme joy indeed. Commentary. The yogi who enjoys supreme bliss is described here. The happiness that one enjoys in the material world is not the highest. There is no fullness of joy in the objective world. All the worldly pleasures are conditioned by time, place, and circumstances. When these change, the pleasures themselves become pains. Even the joy of Indra has limitations and is subject to time. It comes and goes. The joy of Atma alone is beyond time and place and is not affected by any change of circumstances. The wise man naturally seeks for the best and the highest. The yogi who is tranquil in mind, in whom rajasic tendencies like kama and krodha are brought to rest, who is free from evil, enjoys supreme joy. While all the people are running hither and thither, they are doing this and that in order to secure the elusive phantom of delight, and all the time missing it. And to the yogi who lives in Brahman, joy, the best and the highest, comes of its own accord and possesses him. The mind should become pure, akalmasham. If anybody opens a house which has been inhabited for a long time, he finds it in dust, cobwebs, rats, bats, scorpions, and other poisonous reptiles. The whole house should be cleansed many times, and all the undesirable occupants driven out, before it is made fit for habitation. Even so, the mind of man, through several births, has been enveloped in darkness, and snakes of kama and krodha, rats of raga and dvesha, have found convenient breeding place in it. Now, for the first time, the awakened man has to start the work of cleansing the whole mass of evil, with all its inhabitations, prejudice, superstitions, etc. When it becomes pure, Atma, the Lord, would manifest himself there. By peace and purity, man realizes Brahman. The Jiva becomes Shiva himself. The Chitta, mind, when it is purified, becomes Chit, knowledge. That is, it becomes one with Atma. Such a yogi inherits his birthright of Brahmananda. Question. What is the highest joy? Answer. The joy of Atma. Moksha. Question. Who attains it? The man of answer. The man of tranquil mind, free from evil and rajasic tendencies, attains it. Question. What then is the way to attain the highest joy? Answer. To keep the mind always in tranquil and calm, to eliminate desire and anger and all other evil attachments is the way to attain that supreme bliss. 28th Shloka. Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigatakalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. Substance. Thus the yogi, free from evil, practicing yoga, union with Atma always, attains easily the highest bliss resulting from contact with Brahman. Commentary. Several people ask, what is the easiest way to attain Brahman? The Lord answers the questions here. Two practices should be followed. The mind should be free from evil thoughts and tendencies. Second, it should be brought to dwell in Atma by Dhyana Yoga. The Lord emphasizes the need for absolute purity of mind everywhere in Gita. Atma Gnana cannot dawn on an impure mind. The evil of mind cannot merge in Atma. Attachment to material things is diametrically opposite to Atma, which is unconditioned and uncontaminated by any other thing. By the As the mind becomes purer and purer, it comes into contact with Brahman, which is the source of the highest bliss. So purification of mind and meditation and Atma are both mentioned here as the path to supreme joy. The practice should be continued constantly, sada. That is, in whatever manner a man may be engaged, the memory of Atma should not be slip out of the mind. Such a yogi attains Brahma Sakshatkara. No worldly object, however valuable it may be, can help man to touch the reality. How can a reflection touch the reality? How can matter possess the spirit? Only the pure mind can approach Atma, can become united with him. In that state, one experiences indescribable bliss. It is infinite and unlike anything that is enjoyed in all the worlds. The bliss of Hiranyagarbha is also like a drop in the ocean of Brahmananda. So declare the Upanishads, as one can attain it even in this life by following the conditions prescribed by the Lord. Question: what is the easy path to attain the bliss of liberation? Answer: to remove all evil samskaras from the mind, to engage the mind constantly in the contemplation of Atma is the easiest means to attain the highest bliss. Question: what is the nature of Atmic Ananda? Answer: it is infinite and is of the same essence as Brahman. How the yogi acts in practical life is explained. 29th Shloka. Sarvabhutastamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshyate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. Substance. The sage harmonized in yoga sees the self in all beings and all beings in the self. He sees the same everywhere. Commentary. Higher, the word yoga means union with Atma, the merging of the individual self in Brahman. The sage who has attained this state of yoga sees everything in his own self and his own self in everything. He looks upon everything with an equal eye. Let us understand the position. The whole of the objective universe is superimposed on the basic universal consciousness, Atma or self of or Brahman. As the dream is superimposed in the consciousness of the wakeful man, as the snake is superimposed on the rope, so the entire universe is superimposed on Atma. What is superimposed cannot in reality be different from the original substance. The snake is not different from the rope. It has no separate existence. Even so, the seeker who has realized Brahman in himself finds the same everywhere. This vision is possible only for the sage who has attained union with Brahman, Atma, by the practice of Dhyana yoga or any other yoga. The sage has discovered that he is not the body, and so instead of limiting himself as the body and seeing everything as separate fragments, he sees the all pervading Atma in himself and in all beings. Separateness comes from identification with the body. As body, one is different from another, everything else, and everything is different from every other being. This separateness is born of ignorance which binds man to the body. When this ignorance is dispelled, man comes to know that he is Atma and Atma is universal. So he finds that as Atma, is all that exists and all that exists is himself as Atma. This vision removes all conflicts and tensions everywhere. The sage is therefore full of love and compassion for all, and he takes no credit for being generous and large hearted because love for other is only love for self in all things. It has been taught that selfless love for others is the highest morality, highest ethical principle. The explanation for this ethical doctrine is the spiritual concept of self realization. Why do people advocate love for all? It is because that there is only one self in all. Love reveals the oneness. The yogi knows the secret of life and the human personality. He knows that a separate existence for himself and everyone else is only a myth and a separation, superstition. What exists in all is Atma, and Atma alone exists. This is the basis of all morality and the explanation of all love. The seeker who believes this, though he has not attained direct vision, should cultivate an equal attitude towards all beings. He should free himself from anger, envy, jealousy, and all uncharitable thoughts. He should have a large hearted, friendly feeling towards all. Question: what qualities should the yogi possess? Answer: he should look up on all beings with an equal eye and see the self in all and all in the self.